What's up, guys? What up? What up? Happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's with an M. Oh man, I know some people are goofy and they say Valentine's Day like that. Valentine. I'm like, are you serious? Even people who are like grown will say Happy Valentine. I'm like, for real. Let me know if you guys are coming through. I know it's the Super Bowl foosball celebration thing or something, some sort of thing like that. I don't know, whatever. I'm not like a sports person, so yeah. Let me know if you guys are here or you guys still watching the foosball. Watching the foosball. It's the devil. It's not the devil, mama. Oh, hey, what's up, Ashley? Thank you. What's up, you guys? Oh, this is bitter, but I guess it's apparently good for you. Anyway, how's everybody doing? What you guys got going on for Valentine's Day? Oh my gosh. Ashley says, I see your love for Michael Jackson. Yes, I do love Michael Jackson. I don't have my Thriller poster up yet. Not yet. But I have a couple other fellas that are always looking out for your homegirl right here. So welcome to my live broadcast. My name is April. And as I've been telling you guys, my channel name has changed. It's now under Cosmic Homegirl. I do plan on making a video more focused on that to let you guys know why exactly I changed the name of my channel. But it's pretty much to be like more authentic. And also the name is shorter too. It's shorter. That's why. So yeah, it was under Pisces Moon Goddess. I am separating my media from that. If you follow me on Facebook under Pisces Moon Goddess, go to my new Facebook page under Cosmic Homegirl. Facebook, I don't know what their problem is. They're weird with their weird ass rules, but I try to change the name of my Facebook page that's connected to everything to Cosmic Homegirl, and they kept sending me this generic email back saying, we cannot do that because it will be misleading to your followers. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, that's so stupid. I don't know. I don't get it. So I just created a new Facebook page under Cosmic Homegirl. The link is also, should be in the description area below the video. But what's up, you guys? Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining. So yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up in a little over a week. And so actually like 10 days from now, but still, I wanted to do my first live Q&A, Ask Your Cosmic Homegirl. So you know how back in the day, people had those who was it? Ask Abby, ask Aunt Krabby, or I don't know, something along the lines of that, to where you would write in letters and then they would answer your question or whatever. But nowadays, you know, we have email and all that stuff. So I would like to start doing like a Q&A to where you guys email me stuff and I can answer it live on the air. So I did have a couple of emails come through and messages here, there, and everywhere. They're a bit scattered. Yeah, dear Abby. Thanks, Monique. Dear Abby. So I'll try to answer them. They're like all over the place. So if I don't get to yours, then my bad. Maybe the next edition. This is a Valentine's Day one. I'm thinking of maybe doing another love one before Valentine's Day, but we'll just see how this one goes. But yeah, pretty much I just wanted to talk about love. Let's talk about love, you guys. Love with astrology. So as a lot of people know, yes, you can see compatibility with people and their energy exchange with your own through astrology. And yes, there's a lot of generic BS out there that just it's only based on your sun sign, which your sun sign is like the month and day that you were born, not including the year, not including the time, not including the place, not including all the super important, intricate details about you. So, you know, for example, they'll say, oh, well, you're a Pisces, so therefore you're naturally just compatible with fellow water signs, Cancer and Scorpio, which is true to a degree, but it goes so much deeper than that. Okay, like way deeper than that. And they'll say, you know, earth and water go together and stuff like that, which is true, but it goes way deeper than that. So I'm just gonna go over a couple of basic things. Because I know there's a lot of people that watch, that tune in that are not super astrology nerds. There's like some that are and some that aren't. And I try to make sure everything is understandable for everybody. So I'm not gonna go like too super duper like like I said, some people send like a long Starbucks order like of some crazy stuff and then be like, are we compatible? And I'm like, oh, my brain, I don't listen, like I love math problems and stuff, but like if you want me to answer something like that quickly, like I can't do it. Like I gotta sit and do all this math and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that requires a paid reading for that much work. So if you have any general basic questions about astrology and compatibility, drop them in the chat during this live Q&A. And if I did have people who had like longer, a little bit longer, like more like the ask your cosmic homegirl, like, can you look at my chart, tell me if we're compatible type of thing. I did have a couple people email me some stuff. So I will be answering your questions, but of course it's not going to be a full-on reading. It's just like, and you know, like some of the basics. Speaking of, for full-on readings of love, compatibility, and all that stuff, yes, I do have readings that are on sale, like a huge freaking discount. Okay, 40% off. That's almost half off of my love and romance readings and my synastry couples readings. So with both of them, I really go into a lot of detail. If you look below in the description box, I have a link to my feedback page to where my clients see feedback. And a lot of people will tell you that for the price that I charge, I give so much detail, so much information. So usually they're like, my readings are like an hour long. Okay, so I really go into detail. Love and romance readings, what I look at is if you're a single person, or if you just want to know, what does my birth chart say about me? What does my astrology say about me as far as like who I'm attracted to, who I attract, all that good stuff. That's exactly what I do. I go into all details of that. And I tell you the good and I tell you the not so great. You know, like if I see that you happen to maybe potentially attract people who are drug addicts or people who are super needy and like energy vampires and stuff like that, then I will let you know. If I see that you have a tendency to be that way, I will let you know. I will let you know in a gentle way, of course, but I will be truthful, you know, so you can have these things that you can watch out for. Because sometimes all of us, we have like our good and bad, you know, we have our tendencies within relationships to be certain ways. Like, for example, I have a tendency to be kind of bossy in my relationships. Okay. Like you would say, oh, well, you know, you're a Pisces moon. You've got all this Venus energy. So you must be very submissive. No, 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 no. There's many other elements of my chart that will show that I can be kind of like, you know, and I had to learn that the hard way. I have the sun conjunct Mars in my chart. So I have these two masculine planets together. Even though I'm very feminine, I can still be like, yo, like, no, I don't play that, you know, and some guys don't dig that. There has to be a good balance of masculine and feminine energies when you're looking at love and stuff, you know what I mean? And by masculine and feminine, feminine, I just made up a new sex, okay? When I'm talking masculine and feminine, I don't just mean male and female gender physically. I mean energetically masculine and feminine. Like the feminine energies are more nurturing. They're more about cultivating and growing things and caring for things. And for example, in astrology, that would be the earth signs and the water signs. And then the air signs are more like action, getting things done, communication, you know, they're like moving, you know what I'm saying? So that's more like the air and the fire signs. Those are the masculine element. So, you know, anybody, it doesn't matter what you were born as, like down there, can be born with masculine and feminine energy. And it's important to have that balance. You know what I mean? Like you could be a woman who has lots of air and fire energy. And maybe you need a man who's got a little more like calmer feminine energy, to help to balance things out. Maybe you like to take charge. You like to do this and that. You like to pick up the wrench and the screwdriver around the house. You know what I mean? But then you have a man who he doesn't mind sometimes stepping in, taking care of the kids, cooking dinner. You know what I mean? That's more of the feminine energy stuff. And then like, you know, so you guys can have a balance there, even though like gender wise, you may, traditionally it's different, you know what I mean? But it works for you. So there's so much that we look at in astrology. But yeah, anyway, love and romance readings, I look at you, just one individual, and tell you what you need and how you have a tendency to act when you're in love and stuff like that. And also I do like a little horoscope. I tell you like, okay, here's some upcoming planetary activity, aka a horoscope, that'll show you maybe some possible changes in relationship status or time when you can like actually meet somebody, more than likely to meet somebody and stuff like that, you know? And then I have my synastry readings, a couples relationship reading, where I do the same exact thing, but it's double. I do it for 2 people. And then I look at both of your charts together, see how your energy exchanges with one another. And then I look at horoscopes for both of you guys to let you guys both know who's going through what at what times. And oh, maybe this person might be going through a time where they want something more serious, but at the same time, the partner is going through something that kind of is the opposite. How can you guys manage that together? So anyhow, my full-on readings, that's what they are, like mad detailed. I can spend an hour up to 2 hours, like if it's a couples reading, lots of info. So yeah, check them out. They're 40% off through the whole month of February, okay? On my website, indigomoonAstrology.com, which will be below. So let me get to some of you guys' questions now, because this is a live Q&A. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I'm going back through the chat right now. Thank you. Okay, Facebook can be punks. Yes, they can be. You're totally right on that. Okay, excuse me. Ariana asks, air and water, are they compatible? Those elements traditionally are very different from one another, and they do kind of clash. But that's why we do have to look at other things in their charts, because if you have a Libra sun and a Scorpio sun, you'll be like, oh, those 2 signs are not compatible. However, with both of them being so close to each other on the zodiac wheel, and their birthdays may be close to each other too, those 2 people may have other planets in the other signs that match up together. They may have, one person has Mars in Scorpio, the other person has Venus in Scorpio, okay? Or both have Mercury in Scorpio, so their communication is on point. You know, so we have to, that's why we've got to look at a whole chart. But just generally speaking, air and water, I'm sorry, Hunty, but yes, they do clash. Air is very cerebral. They're all about communication, very direct communication. Water is more introverted, and they expect you to just kind of naturally know what they want. They're not always so verbal as the air signs. So that's why they differ. So I'm not just going to say a flat out, no, girl, you and your man aren't compatible just because of the air and the water elements of your sun signs. We got to look at the rest of the chart. Greetings, Dia. What's up, girl? Thank you so much for joining. Yes. Ashley says, I have a light blue aura right now. You know, I really want to get more into auras. You're going to have to let me know, what does the blue mean? I always told people, I would imagine that my aura is probably like hot pink with like neon green graffiti sprayed in it and some glitter. But I don't know. You aura readers, tell me what you see. What does blue mean? Because I was for sure it was hot pink. All right. Claire, is that all in the love reading? Yes, girl. They're very detailed. Lisa says, we need the truth to heal. Yes, we do. Deja, what's up, girl? Thanks for coming through. Okay, so Lauren asks, how does the moon conjunct the IC play out in synastry? Okay. Technical nerdy stuff. So if you don't know what any of this stuff means, I'll try to put it in as practical terms as possible. So what Lauren is asking is when one person's moon is in the same sign as another person's IC or 4th house cusp, what that means is that's like the bottom of their birth chart. that is it rules their family, it rules their roots, it rules their home life. Okay, so when one person's moon comes in contact with that, what does that mean? It means that you really do feel at home with that person. And a lot of times in synastry, what I can see, if it's a male and female partnership, those are the people that sometimes end up getting pregnant very, very quickly, very fast. Moon conjunct IC, or their planets land in their fourth house or fifth house, they end up moving in together quickly. So that might be a couple that you see that everybody's like, oh, how long you been together? Only 4 or 5 months. How are you guys already having a baby? How are you guys already moving in together? Like, where do they do that at? Like, how, like, oh, that's too fast. Why would you guys, why? You got to look at their birth charts. That's how their energy flows together. They naturally feel like right away, like, this person's home to me. This person, I need to build a family with them. You know what I'm saying? This person, I would love to have kids with them. We just really bond in that type of a way. So Moon conjunct IC is one of those ones to where right away you have that emotional connection, and you can also feel like that person, they just feel like home. That's the best way I can describe it. So Andy asks, do you think it's weird that some YouTubers wear the same exact shirt in every video they do? Andy, I don't know what that has to do with love, boo-boo, but no, I don't. I mean, some people, they want to be consistent. Some people, they just don't care about stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to keep this like to love. Okay. Let's keep this love. Okay. All right. So, Tila asks, what about an Aries moon and a Gemini moon? So if you're talking about love, Aries moon and Gemini moon. Okay, so for those who are watching who don't know what the moon means in astrology, it's your ability to emotionally connect, all right? And it's also your ability to nurture, and it's how you were nurtured. It represents maybe your mother or your family or your main nurturing figure who took care of you. And then that's instilled in you. You know what I'm saying? Like how you actually, how you emotionally reach out and touch people, or your lack thereof of the ability to do that. So if somebody has their moon sign in Aries, that means that their emotions, like how they emotionally react to stuff, that means they emotionally react very fast. They can get really pissed off and be like, bah! And then 5 seconds later be like, okay, babe, so where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? Like, come on, let's, or they could be all on you and stuff. And you'll be like mad confused. Like, wait a second, what happened? You were just a fire breathing dragon a second ago and like burnt my ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm still sitting here burnt. Like I've got and now you want to hang out. You want to get your bang bang boogie on with me, and you just like burn me to death. Like, what is that? So an Aries moon can be like that, right? Emotionally. And then a Gemini moon, they are very quick to get over things. They're like on to the next. Like while you're talking, like you can be going on and on about something, and then they'll be like, and then if you don't change the subject within 5 seconds, their mind is going to be off to the next thing anyway. So how these two emotionally get along with each other in like a relationship, they may actually work out pretty well, an Aries moon and a Gemini moon, because Aries moon gets over things quickly, and Gemini moon does too. So Gemini moon will be able to handle Aries moon breathing fire all over them and just burning them to death. And then Gemini will heal quickly from that. And when Aries is like, hey, babe, you want to get something to eat? They'll be like, oh, yeah, sure. Are you over it? Yeah, I'm over it too. They won't even talk about it. So they may actually work out. All right. So let's see what else. Yeah, I know. We keep it entertaining over here. And he had an entertaining question. So anyway, let's see. Okay, Lauren says, that's me and my boo. My moon is on his IC. My Venus is on his IC. Things moved quickly. Yeah, things will move quickly. Somebody with those type of connections, you will feel like, you just feel like home already with them. All right. So Angel, what's up, Angel? How you doing? So Angel says, it's all about Pisces. My moon is rising into, okay. Ashley says auras change a lot. Some people's auras are doubled in relating to a guardian angel or beloved person. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, okay. So Ariana says that she's an Aquarius and he's a Pisces. Okay, now Aquarius and Pisces, you guys may actually get along because once again, you guys are so close together on the zodiac wheel that you guys may have planets in each other's the same sign. You know what I'm saying? Like Aquarius can easily have Venus and Pisces or Mercury and Pisces. And then Pisces can easily have Mercury and Aquarius, Venus and Aquarius, maybe even Mars and Aquarius. So that can make you guys able to get along even though your sun signs are like totally different. Oh, yeah, Ashley, that's some dope stuff about the aura. Thank you. So Monique says, what about a Capricorn moon and a Libra moon? Now, see, those moon signs alone, they square each other on the zodiac wheel. So what does that mean? Now, a square. So for those who are watching who know what square up means, that's pretty much how an aspect can work out like that when it comes to astrology. Between two planets, between two people, square up. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of challenge each other. They don't really, those energies, they're different in so many ways. So Libra moon will really just want to keep the peace. And also Libra moon is more like really about partnership, really about doing things together, even if it means something like as simple as going to the grocery store. Okay, like, oh, you know, I want to go shopping and stuff. Like, come with me, right? And if you're with a Capricorn moon, they may be like, yo, I have to work. Like, I have stuff to do. Why don't you just go on ahead by yourself? And the Libra moon will end up being like, no, man, like, they don't even want to go with me to the store? Like, what's up with that? Or a Libra moon could be very, very lovey-dovey and like text like their Capricorn moon lover like some cutesy little text with hearts and kisses and smiley faces. Capricorn moon will just text back and say, okay, with a period. What is that? So that's just like a very brief general description of how those two moon signs can work out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They square each other. They're very different. But that's only the moon signs, okay? So we got to look at the rest of the chart. You could have some other elements that have you guys work out, even with those aspects going on. All right. So Miss Pisces moon, what's up, moon twin? So she says, what are soulmate aspects in astrology? I'm glad you asked, girl, because you know there are so many. Let me take a drink before I get into that. Soulmate aspects. Yes, there are so many. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of them, every single one of them, but I will go through some of them and give you guys some examples. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at my YouTube and one of my favorite YouTubers just put out a new video. Woo, when I get off of here, I'm going to peep that. I watched this dude named Rich Lux. Oh my God, he is hilarious. And he's a weirdo. That's why I love him so much. And he says it also, I love him so much. He's so weird. I love weird people. Anyhow, I digress. Soulmate aspects in astrology. There are so many different ones, okay? So one of them that's very common is, well, see, if you have, okay, let's talk about, oh, and somebody had asked me, HFTL. He's always on here. I don't know if he's here right now, but he asked me earlier, can I talk about the North Node and the South Node when it comes to love and astrology? And I was like, I thought no one would ever ask. That is so important. It has to do with your karma, your past life karma, and the karma of now, this incarnation, this lifetime. What are you doing? Who are you coming in contact with? When you meet people that come, whose planets in their birth chart, or maybe their ascendant, okay, their rising, comes in contact with the North or South Node in your birth chart, you really feel magnetically drawn to that person, okay? Because if you even look at the symbols for the North and South Node, and also in like Eastern astrology, Vedic astrology, they call it Rahu and Ketu, okay? And they are calculations that are based on the moon. So it's not like a planet floating around up there. It's invisible celestial body, let's just say that. So if you look at the shape of them, they look like those horseshoe magnets, right? And that's kind of what I envision in my head is like, say for example, someone has their moon in a conjunction with their partner or somebody that they're interested in, their north node. So the north node is like your life's purpose in this lifetime, like where your destiny, what your destiny is, what direction you're supposed to be going, right? So when someone's moon hits that, it's like, wow, like you really feel emotionally drawn to one another. Now, I will warn you that that can cause some emotional erraticism sometimes because the north node, I call it an accelerator because it's north, it's up, right? So if someone's moon touches that and the moon rules emotions, the emotional connection will be accelerated. But also that's another connection to where you will automatically feel at home with each other. And you may feel like you're destined to build a family with one another. One of my sisters has I think she has her moon in a conjunction with her husband's north node. I think she does. And they got together fairly quickly and they had a child, you know, kind of fairly quickly according to the regular standards. So yeah, like that they had that connection. North node conjunct someone's Venus too. You really feel like this person is destined to be a part of your life in a very Venusian way. Like they're here to show you beautiful things. That is another one of those soulmate aspects where you feel like you feel in love with that person. And also what's crazy about the nodes, the nodal connections is, those are some of those aspects to where it's so hard to let that person go. Like if you guys break up, it's difficult to let go. So hard to let go. Oh my gosh. Like you guys just feel a magnetic pull towards each other. I can't even speak. You feel towards each other a very magnetic draw, you know? For example, also, I dated someone once a long time ago, and they have the North Node in Taurus, and I have Venus, Mars, the Sun, Mercury, Chiron, all in Taurus, right? All in my seventh house. So his North Node was conjunct all of that stuff in my chart, and his South Node was conjunct my ascendant. Don't you know that is still one of the hardest connections to let go of to this day. It still is. And it doesn't help the fact that they're no longer here in the physical world, that they have passed on. But even though they've passed on, like there's still a connection there that's been so hard. I've tried a lot of stuff. Like those are those connections where you got to do some ritualistic stuff in order to really be able to separate your energy from theirs. It's really hard. So those are some of those soulmate connections, is the North Node and South Node, especially the South Node, because that represents your past life. So if somebody's planets come in contact with it, you could have actually been together in a past life, like somebody's Venus conjunct your South Node. You guys could have been in love in a past life, past lovers before, stuff like that. It gets really trippy. That's one of the things I look for. Another thing I look for is you have to know your birth time and know, like, have your chart calculated based on your birth time to know this. But there's a point in your chart called the vertex point, okay? And it represents like fated events and fate in a way. Is the simplest way I could put it. So if you have somebody, say for example, their moon conjuncts your vertex, yo, that's another one of those bonds where it's very like magnetic. I actually have that with my husband. His moon conjuncts my vertex, and it's like right away. It was one of those right away things. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. Also, other soulmate aspects can be, well, you know, more, oh, here's another one. When somebody's planets fall in your 8th house, woo, fan myself. Where's a fan? I don't have a fan, but fan myself, okay? When somebody's planets fall in your 8th house. Now, 8th house, to those who are new to astrology, if you don't have your birth time to have your chart calculated exactly with the house divisions and all that, if you count 8 signs from you, right? Say your sun sign is Taurus, okay? Your sun sign is Taurus. Count 8 signs from Taurus. It's Sagittarius, okay? And that means Tauruses really have a soulmate, I can't get enough of you even though I can't stand you type of bond with Sagittarius, okay? And that's because the 8th house or the 8th sign from you, that is your soul. Like it's like a soul energy, soulful energy. It's your deep soul, your deep subconscious, all that stuff. It's where you're like stripped away, like you're stripped naked, right? Sometimes literally, you know what I'm saying? But like all of you, your mask comes off in the 8th house, and that person gets to know you and they really get into your energy field. So those are ones to where it's so hard to break up with that person. And also you can find energy vampires in the 8th house. Sad to say, but it's true. Like, so if somebody's planets land in your 8th house, you may feel like they can really drain you of your soul and your energy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you separate from them. Okay, so I dated a Sagittarius stellium person a long time ago. And that was another one of those relationships that it took a while. And I had to actually like, somebody asked about rituals. Hey, a ritual can be so simple as burning that person's stuff. Okay, I'm not saying, I'm not like, promoting arson or anything like that, okay? No left eye from TLC stuff. But I'm saying, like, burn a picture or burn a letter. I know that's, I'm a Scorpio rising, so we're all about that stuff. Or I had a big box of this person's stuff and I threw it in the trash, okay? And I burned a picture. All right, so that's what I had to do. But even then, it was still hard because I'm a Taurus. They were 8th house from Taurus. Like all their planets were there. And I was just like really infatuated and in love. It was really hard to cut that bond off. So hard. And I did feel like when we broke up, I felt like I died. No joke. Like I couldn't get up out of bed. I couldn't drink water. I couldn't eat. I felt so weak. Like it was really like a part of me was taken away. So when somebody's planets land in your 8th house, you guys, that's another one of those experiences where you feel like you had a soulmate connection. I see it all the time. It could be love or it could be hate. It could be like they're giving you life or it could be like they're giving you death. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very strong. What else? Let's see. If somebody's, like if you have a sun and moon combination, like you have the sun in the same sign as someone's moon, that's kind of a lighter soulmate type of feeling to where you feel like you really understand each other. So like if you're a Pisces sun and you meet a Pisces moon, that could be right away, energetically, you're like, wow, this person gets me. Or if you have your moons in the same sign, like the moon is your inner mind, right? So if your moons are conjunct each other, you guys don't even always have to verbally speak to know what you need, to know what you want, to know what you're feeling. You could feel the same things at the same time. Yeah. So those are a few of those like soulmate things, the main ones that I tend to see a lot. Okay. So I know that was a long answer to a question, but that one's really important. I do really look for that when I see people's synastry and they say, I think they're my soulmate. I always find at least a couple of those. All right. So let's see. What else are you guys asking me up in Hurrah? Okay. Miss Leo, I don't have my glasses on, but you got a long name. What can you say about someone who has their north node conjunct Saturn? Is that in synastry? Do you mean like one person's north node is conjunct another person's Saturn? Let me know if that's what you mean. Dia says, I have Leo ruling my 7th house and Pluto sitting there as well. And Pluto squaring my, ooh, girl. Pluto in the 7th house. Oh, Pluto rules. You have Leo ruling your 7th house and Pluto. Okay, so she has Pluto in her 7th house. Let me tell you guys about Pluto in the 7th house real quick. So Pluto is the planet that rules Scorpio. It's it's one of the planets that rules Scorpio. So when you think Pluto, think Scorpio. Okay, if you know anything about Scorpio, their personality, their energy, what they can be like, they're very intense. Okay, so if somebody has Pluto in their house of relationships, that's what the seventh house is, the house of relationships. That means you can attract partners who maybe they're Scorpios, right? You can attract a lot of Scorpios or people who have energy planets in their eighth house, or maybe they have Pluto in the first, or maybe they have Pluto conjunct the sun. They're like really intense people. So she can attract crazies pretty much. She can attract some, if you date men, Dia, you can attract the men that can kind of be stalkerish, or the ones that want to really possess you and possess your soul, like just really take over like your whole being. You know what I'm saying? It can be a little intense. But not always the crazies though. You can just attract men who like really say, you know what, I will live for you. I will die for you. Like, I really just want to be with you. And they're very serious about being with you, you know, and they can be possessive. Sometimes the crazy ones, but sometimes not just crazy, but just the right amount of possessiveness. You know what I'm saying? To where you're like, ooh, to like, no, you're my woman. And you're like, okay. So Pluto in the seventh house can manifest in different ways, but it is very intense. You can attract intense partners, and you may crave some intensity yourself. So yeah, let's see what else. Lias says, what does it mean when two signs conjunct? Well, it depends. It depends on what planets they are. Just meeting somebody who has the same sun sign as you, I mean, you'll have some things in common with them. You'll understand each other to a certain degree, but then you could have like Mercury, your Mercury's in different signs and communicate like on a totally different levels. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Okay. All right. So Angel asks, how does Gemini fit into my Pisces universe? Well, what is Pisces for you, Angel? Is that your sun sign, your moon, your ascendant? What is that? If you're talking about just Pisces and Gemini in general, well, Pisces has Gemini. Gemini is the fourth sign from Pisces. So, and they also square each other on the zodiac wheel. So pretty much, there's a couple things that can happen there. Well, number one, when you guys have signs that square each other on the zodiac wheel, that means that you're different, but also you have some commonalities between you, because it means you're in the same modality. Like Gemini and Pisces are mutable energy. Mutable, there's like two sides to them a lot, to the mutable energy, especially the double. Pisces and Gemini, you guys are both represented by something that's double, a double symbol, like the numeral 2 or the two lovers is Gemini, and Pisces is the two fish. So you guys both have two sides to you. You have a duality there. So you have that in common, but that can make for two wishy-washy people. Let me tell you, just in general, Pisces and Gemini, two wishy-washy people will be like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah. And then like you disappear. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a challenge. That could be a challenge to getting each other to commit to one another. So also Gemini and Pisces. Pisces has Gemini as their fourth house. So you may actually feel like a sense of familiarity with Gemini energy if you're a Pisces. Like they may remind you of your mother, or your family could be kind of wishy-washy, or they're very, very mercurial in nature. They talk a lot. You know, they're very communicative people. They're fun. They're jokesters. They're witty. You know, and then that Gemini you meet reminds you kind of your family. And you may have one of those situations where you get together really quickly. You feel so comfortable with each other that you just end up maybe shacking up very fast, or having a family quickly, stuff like that. But yes, Angel, that's to answer the question generally, because you didn't specify like what placements are in what sign. But yeah. So Taylor asks, what about cheater aspects? Woo, there are a lot of them. And it's very controversial to talk about them too, because people get so butthurt. They take this stuff so far up the anal. It's like, it's crazy, because there's a lot of factors involved. And this is why, one of those things where I'm going to be a total nerd and I'm going to say you have to look at the whole chart. But there are some ones that I see common repeats of, okay? And also to be an even super nerd, it depends on the aspects made to the planets. Like, for example, Venus in Gemini, Mars in Gemini, Moon in Gemini, they get a really bad rap, right? Anything Gemini gets a bad rap. They have a terrible reputation when it comes to being faithful for good reason. They're a sign of duality, okay? So they can easily, they're one of the signs, number one, whenever I've had clients or whenever I've done case studies on even like famous people and their lives are out there and, oh, so-and-so was caught cheating and living a double life. Guess what I always find? Guess what I always find? Gemini. I always find Gemini. Gemini, or maybe a third house stellium, right? There's always Gemini when they say double life. Like I used to watch the Braxton Family Values, like Tony Braxton's family and sisters and everybody. And like, I only watched it a little bit, but I remember them mentioning their dad. Oh, our dad was a pastor and we had this big family and all this stuff. And then we find out he was living this double life for years and had this other lady on the side. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all I can hear when they were talking about their dad is Gemini, 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 Gemini. That's all I heard. Sure enough, I looked up their dad's chart. What did I find? Surprise, surprise, Gemini sun. OMG. So, and anybody that I've encountered that will admit to me, oh yeah, I lived a double life. Oh yeah, you know, I work with coworkers and they're like, yeah, I have my man or my wife at home, but guess what? I have a little something over here at work. You know what I'm saying? We go to lunch and, you know, we do some things, you know what I'm saying? But it's harmless. All of them. Gemini, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Moon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, why are you cool with this? It's a sign of duality, okay? That's one of the number ones that I see. And I know people will be like, boo, whatever, I'm a Gemini and I don't cheat. Okay, that's why I said it depends on the chart. You got to look at the aspects. And I was using Gemini as an example because they're the number one example always given. However, you can meet somebody who has planets in Gemini, right? But they also have like, say they have Gemini planets conjunct Saturn or trine Saturn, you know, positive aspect to Saturn. Saturn, think of Saturn as an anchor, right? It's an anchoring down that energy. So normally Gemini will be bouncing over here, over there, doing this, doing that, this person, that person. But Saturn will say, Gemini, sit your ass down, okay? Sit down, stay in one spot. Learn to do one thing. Learn to be with one person and be satisfied with that. But find yourself somebody who keeps your interest going. You know what I'm saying? Saturn can teach Gemini how to not be all over the place and scattered when it comes to dating. You know, and my husband has planets in Gemini. And when I first saw that, I wanted to run. I was like, why? Like everything else about him is so dope. Like, why does he have Venus in Gemini? Why does he have a moon in Gemini? He's going to be a cheater and all this stuff, right? But guess what? When I looked at his whole entire chart, he has his Gemini planets are trine to Saturn and to Pluto. And those planets are more of like strongly like anchoring down, you know? So he's not like, knock on some motherfucking wood, okay? But I'm a Scorpio, I would know. He already knows me by now. He knows I would know. But it tones that Gemini stuff down where he's not like, looking over here, over there, chicks in the phone and all that stuff. No. So not every single Gemini is a cheater, but it's common, very common for unevolved Geminis or Geminis who still have very scattered energies to be all over the place, even when it comes to dating and just like not able to stay in one place without getting bored, you know? Also Pisces. Pisces placements or 12th house are common cheaters. And once again, I know people boo, dislike, and I'm a Pisces and I'm not like that. Okay, I get it. But This is why I say you got to look at the whole chart. However, there's still, like, I notice patterns, you guys. I read hundreds of charts, okay? Like, I'm reading charts every single day of my life. And it's very common for Pisces to be, Pisces is a sign of the hidden, and 12th house energy is hidden. And the 12th house is known for being a house that can show affairs, because this is like fantasy. This is people who are unattainable. And if you know Piscean people or 12th house people, they fantasize. They fantasize about what they can't have, who they can't have, you know? So a lot of times, and then 12th house energy, like if somebody, like their sign is your 12th house, sometimes you can be more prone to having secret affairs with them. Example, case point example. I used to know a girl who had planets in Gemini in the 12th house of her chart. And she always told me about her little flings and stuff. And every time it was with like a married man. And I would try to just bite my tongue, like, okay, no judgment here. You know, you want to confide in me and all that stuff. I'll try to be cool and everything. But it was always married men. And I would ask questions all the time and be like, why? Like, okay. And I would say, look, be honest with me, girl. How can a woman like me keep a chick like you away from my man? Like, please let me know. Let me know. What do you tell these men? Oh my gosh. And it was like kind of the same thing all the time, you know, like the little cat and mouse games. And I won't tell if you won't tell, and nobody had to know. And it could be our secret, wink, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, for real? Like, okay, I'm going to watch that 12th house stuff now. So sometimes 12th house energy, Pisces energy, it can be like that. Want somebody who is unattainable. Those are also the energies that tend to fall for people who are jailbirds. They're in and out of jail. Want to fall in love with a prisoner, write to them all the time. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Want somebody that they can't have in a way that's like, yeah, they're married or they're taken or they live far away, and just kind of have that person they can fantasize about and see every so often. So that could be a common cheater aspect that I see. And if you want to check up on your significant other, I'm going to give you a little tip here. Make sure when they have, if you know their horoscope, you know a little bit more advanced astrology, right? If they're going through some 12th house transits, listen to their horoscope. If I do their horoscope, or anybody else on YouTube, if you watch them and they say, yes, this month, they're having transits go through their 12th house. Your 12th house is highlighted this month. If that's your partner, watch them. Watch them. Watch them. Because that's a house of creeping. That's a house of doing secretive activities. And they could be fantasizing about somebody else. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but sometimes that happens. And you could just, during that time, what I can advise you to do, be their fantasy person. Take them out on dates. Wear some wigs. Dress in some different costumes and be like, da, 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 da. What you want to do with this? You know what I'm saying? Do some fun, like different stuff during that time. If they have some 12th house stuff, popping off, okay? Also, if they have transits to their third house. Third house craves variety. Gemini and third house are the same thing. Craves variety. They are looking over there, looking over there. They get bored easily. You know what I'm saying? So if your partner is going through some transits of planets going through that third house, they may have a wandering eye. Trust me, I'm not making this up. And it's not 100% of the time, but sometimes it can be like that. So during that time, what can you do? Take them out. Hey, you want to try out this new place? We've never been to this sports bar before. We've never been to this restaurant. We've never been to this place. Hey, let's do something different. You know, be witty, be fun, crack jokes with them. Same thing. Put on some wigs, put on some costumes. Da, 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 da. You don't know who I am. I'm somebody different today. You know what I'm saying? Play around with them in that way. And maybe it can save you from them like trying to stray. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also, other cheater aspects. Okay. I would say if the person has conjunctions to Neptune, like Mars conjunct Neptune, men. I see it all the time. Mars conjunct Neptune men can be cheaters because it's hard because Mars is a men's masculinity and how they express it. And then Neptune dissolves boundaries, you know what I'm saying? And Mars can also be sexuality, like how where a man points that arrow, you know what I'm saying? Neptune is fantasy, it's dissolvement of boundaries. That can mean boundaries between you and another person or them and another person. So sometimes they just know no boundaries, a Mars and Neptune person, and they will disappear on you and turn their phone off and block your number. And you're like, what the hell? Like, where did they go? And they'll just disappear. And then they'll come back a few days later and be like, yo, what's up? Like nothing happened. And you're like, where have you been? Oh, I was, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Lying. You know what I'm saying? So conjunction to Neptune, if a person has it in their chart, that's another one of those aspects that may be a little, you know what I'm saying? You may have to watch them a little bit. But once again, there's a lot of other factors involved. Maybe they have Neptune and Saturn together, or maybe it's in like, I don't know, like a house that's more stable, about stability, to maybe they won't stray as much, but they're really into like fantasy and role play and stuff like that. So what other cheater aspects? Cheating ass aspects. Yeah, so planets in Gemini, planets in Pisces, they can stray very easily sometimes. And what are the other ones? Libra really craves partnership. Libra is known to be a very flirty energy. Libra or seventh house energy, known to be very flirty, and they are so about keeping the peace and everybody liking them that sometimes they don't mean to flirt, like, oh, I want you type of flirting. It's like somebody's flirting with them even though they're taken, and they're just like, oh, yeah, oh, or yeah, girl, yeah, oh, I look good. Oh, you like this lineup I got going on, right? Oh, okay, you like how I got my eyebrows waxed, girl? Yeah, oh, thank you, thanks for the compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like being complimented. They like for people to like them. So because of that, sometimes these Libra aspects, like Mars and Libra men, they have a bad rep. And once again, depends on the aspect, okay? Like my husband has Mars and Libra, but it's conjunct Saturn and conjunct Pluto, and it's all in the 10th house. So it's all very serious Mars and Libra, you know? But Mars and Libra, Venus and Libra, they can sometimes be very flirty and just like for people to like them. So, and then if you have a partner that's very possessive, you know, if that person has a partner that's very possessive, they will look at them as being a cheater because they're like, yo, you're flirting with people. And that goes against like the terms and conditions of this relationship. What are you doing? And they'll be like, oh, well, they were being nice to me, so I was being nice back. Big deal, you know what I'm saying? So that's another common one. What else? There's so much to say, but I want to get to the rest of your questions. So those are, yes, hopefully that answers your question, Taylor. Now let me see what you guys are saying. Okay. Monique says, my north node was conjunct my ex's Venus, and south node was conjunct his moon, his north node. Okay, so Monique, with all those nodal connections, let us know. Was that a relationship that was hard to get over? Was it hard to break that bond for one or both parties? Let me know. Okay, so soulmate, wouldn't that be okay? Oh, Monique says, my husband's sun and Venus fall in my 8th house. Ooh, so that must be like, do you guys have like a really like soulful bond to one another? Let us know how that is. Okay, planets that fall in the 12th house. Yes, yeah. Let me see what else you guys got going. Okay. Wow. Hold on. There's a lot of stuff in here. Okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh, so many questions. I'm going back. Okay. So real quick, how would you describe a Mars and Pisces overall in love? I feel like they get a bad rep. Mars and Pisces is romantic, and just like Mars conjunct Neptune, like I mentioned earlier, yes, it can get a bad rep because They're known to pull disappearing acts and to not know the boundaries between themselves and others, to where if somebody comes along and they're like, hey, what's up? And they're all over them, they may not push them off, or they may be like, oh, hey, you know, and just kind of let somebody all up in their space in a way that their partner may find offensive and think like, yo, that's crossing the line. You know what I mean? That's why Mars and Pisces gets a bad rep. Not every single Mars and Pisces is like that. Like I said, look for aspects to other planets and all that stuff, right? But in love, though, Mars and Pisces is romantic and may like fantasy, and you may like for the environment that you're in when you're with someone. You want it to be beautiful. You like to be with somebody who you can escape reality with. You like to be with somebody who, like, when you're with them, time does not exist. You guys are in this vortex together, like, of bliss. And you may like to have music playing when you're hanging with somebody in a romantic way. You may be the type of person that dedicates music to your love interest. You may create playlists for them on Spotify. I mean, I can just go on. But Mars and Pisces, yes, you guys can get a bad reputation, but there is good, of course. It depends on a lot of things. But that's just a little general about you guys. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Oh, okay, Pisces moon. This is a good question. What are aspects in synastry that keep people together for a long time? I would say there's a lot of them, but I'll just go with a few of them that come to mind really quickly here. Aspects that keep people together for a long time. Well, I would say, of course, if there's a combination of, like, maybe moon and Venus, like somebody's moon is in the same sign as the other person's Venus, because the moon is emotions, emotional responses, emotional how you feel and give love and you're self-emotional to people. And Venus is just a very pleasant energy. So you may feel like that person just always brings pleasant energy to you, and then you feel like nurturing them, and they spoil you back. You know, that's one of them. People who have the combinations of, like, their sun in the same sign as their partner's moon, especially if the man has the sun sign, or the more masculine person in the relationship has the sun sign, and then the more feminine person, or the woman, has the moon sign in the same sign as that person's sun. A lot of times that flows together really, really nicely. And like I said earlier, like people who have the moon in the same sign, that they can stay together for a long time a lot of times, because they really understand each other on an emotional level. What else? Also, like people who have planets in each other's seventh house. The seventh house is the house of commitment. Or for those who don't know what the houses are, your opposite sign. So if you are a Leo, your seventh house is Aquarius. So even though you guys are opposite signs, they land in your seventh house of relationships. So if they have a few planets there, that can be an indicator. Those are people that stay together for a long time for this reason. Because the seventh house is the house of not only, oh, it's your committed partnership, blah, 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 but it's compromise. It's compromise, and it's sacrificing yourself for another person. So a lot of times people who have these seventh house connections with each other, they will be willing to bend and to compromise. For example, their partner may be really into sports, right? Like we just had the Super Bowl. So say your partner is really into the foosball, okay? And you may think the foosball is the devil, right? But because your planets land in their seventh house, you may be like, okay, I'm going to compromise and I'm going to sit with you and watch this foosball, but I'm going to be filing my nails and I'm going to be on my phone a little bit. You know what I mean? But still, like, I will sit here and I'll try my hardest to be on the same level with you with your interests. Okay, it's leveling things out, balancing things out. That's the seventh house. So if you guys have planets that land in your partner's seventh, or planets in your opposite signs, you guys find ways to balance each other out. So those are just a couple of things that can keep people together for a long time. But also, yeah, the nodal contacts, you just feel like you have to be together. And maybe planets landing in the fourth house make people feel like they should be together and be connected, because once again, they feel like home. They feel like family to you. Not like in an incestual way, okay? I mean, like you feel like We are here to build a life with each other, and you feel that right away. So those are a few aspects. Also, Venus and Saturn, sometimes it can go not so great, but sometimes it can be a good aspect between the planets, between, like, if one person's Venus is in the same sign as another person's Saturn, like you've got Venus in Libra conjunct someone's Saturn in Libra, sometimes that can be an anchor to your Venus and anchor you down to where you feel like, my bad, I'm all like drooling over here over talking about this love, honey. Anyway, you can feel like anchored to one another, but at the same time, that aspect can work out in a not so great way to where you feel like that person just prohibits you from really expressing love or enjoying life. So got to look at different things there. Woo, I can talk, honey. Can't I? All right. What's up, Sheena? What's up, Miss Sheena? How you doing? Thanks for coming through. What do I think about Venus square Pluto in a synastry chart? Oh, Venus square Pluto, yo. I'm going to be honest with you. That is a tough aspect because Venus square Pluto, that can be sometimes an indicator of abuse in a chart, like someone who can be abusive or abrasive towards their partner. Not 100% of the time, so don't get mad, dislike, and be like, oh my God, we have that. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, I'm saying I've seen it commonly play out that way, but maybe some other aspects are also involved that can calm it down. But sometimes that can be an aspect of abuse is Venus square Pluto. Because Pluto is an energy that's very, very intense, wants to possess, you know, but sometimes Pluto can equal by itself, Pluto can show abuse, like wanting to really control someone and just like control every aspect of their soul, like down to the bones of that person, you know? So Venus square Pluto can sometimes be a challenge to where one person wants to do that to the other. And it's very intense. But sometimes the square aspect being a challenge, that's still Venus talking to Pluto, which sometimes Venus Pluto aspects, they can go a different way to where if you want to be like really possessed by that person, maybe it can kind of work out. But it's one of those ones where it could be like stepping on a landmine, man. Like, ooh, I would be careful. I don't know why I can't swap. I would be very careful with the Venus square Pluto, Venus conjunct Pluto. I've had that before and it was intense. But yeah, that person was abusive towards me too, you know, but it was like love, hate. Venus square Pluto can play out that way too. Love, hate, like you absolutely love, you're obsessed with each other. Like, I can't get enough of you. But then it's like at the same time, when they act out in this crazy way, you're like, oh, I can't stand you. Like, but I can't get away from you. It's crazy. So anyway, what else is next? What's up, Gary? Gary, I haven't seen you in a long time, honey. How you doing? People have been worried about you in Real Talk Astrology. You got to go drop in and say what's up. All right, let's see. Oh, what's up, Ron? Ron is one of my OGs. Ron is an OG. Ron, as you can see, I changed the name of my platform, and thank you for still being here. All right. Gary says, my moon and rising, but I'm faithful though. Gary is a Gemini moon and rising. Yes. And he must have some other things in his chart that kind of calm down, you know, the need for the duality in like a negative way for Gemini. Tella, I'm a moon in Gemini. Yes. Okay. Eve is a Venus in Gemini. But Eve says she's always been faithful. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying you have to look at the aspects to the planets and all that stuff. Let's see. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Dia, you're funny. Dia says, I know Gemini can't be the only sign because I know some Libra men folks who be straight up hoeing. You are telling the truth. Telling the truth. Telling the truth. Oh my gosh. Okay. Gary says, leave Libra men out of this. No, it's true. The air signs are they get a bad reputation for not being loyal because they're very like mental and they need a lot of mental stimulation, you know? So sometimes the air signs can, their mental can wander, wander off. But like I said, depends on a lot of other things in the chart. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so let me see. Ada says, I'm a Gemini sun, Libra moon, and Libra rising. All air play, all air please pray for me. What should I be looking for in compatibility? Okay, she's a Gemini sun, Libra moon, Libra rising. Okay, so first of all, just going off the basics because I don't know your Venus, I don't know your Mars, I don't know your Mercury, and I do look at all that stuff when it comes to who you're compatible with because all of them matter very much. Mars matters. Mercury matters when it comes to relationships too, because Mercury is a sign of communication, or it's the planet that rules communication. So say you could have this bomb like physical chemistry with somebody, right? And you know, just the bang bang boogie is on point 100%. But then you can't really talk to that person. Like that could be somebody you hook up with and you have a good time, and then you try to like text them. And the way you text is like, good morning, how are you doing? I can't wait to see you, blah, 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 blah. And they just text you, hey. Or you're like, how are you? How's your day like? And they just go, good. Like, what the F? You know, but yet when you guys get together, it can be, you know, some physical magic going on. So Mercury is very important, very important. So I would definitely want to know, if I were looking at compatibility, I would look at that. But just basically, Ada, with you being a Libra rising, and all air, I would definitely, you could go really well with another air person or fire, just to be very general, very general. But Libra rising, I would look at what your fifth house is. Fifth house for Libra is Aquarius. So you may be attracted to Aquarian types, which means that they are quirky, they're different. They may be someone who's different from you culturally. They are really outside the box thinkers who come up with like lots of different crazy ideas. And when you guys go out on dates, they'll take you to these little like hipster spots, like, oh, there's this new place that opened up downtown and it's like a little hole in the wall. Like nobody's heard of it yet, but like I know all about it and everything because I'm super cool. So like Libra, do you want to go? And Libra will be like, sure, I'm all down for like new social settings. Like, let's go check it out, you know? So I would look at your fifth house. So that's Aquarius. I would also look at your seventh house if you're a Libra rising, and that is Aries. So you may like some of the Aries qualities, like somebody who's like very much like, they will help you to decide things, Libra, because Libra is like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Whatever you like, whatever you like. Libra, you know that's true. Your date will be like, where do you want to go, Libra? Wherever you want to go. Libra, what food do you like? What is your favorite food? Whatever kind of food you want to eat. And you'll be like, oh my God. So it's good for Libras to have an Aries type person to balance them out, to be like, yo, Libra, guess what? We're going here. Let's go. Get your shoes, get your purse, girl, we're leaving. They'll be like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? And then Libra, I would look at your eighth house also for Libra rising, which is Taurus. Now that is the house of love and hate. So you can feel a very passionate love or passionate hate towards somebody that has Taurus qualities. Like they're very stable. They're very consistent. But Libra and Taurus are both ruled by Venus, so you guys can both enjoy lots of Venusian things together. You know, you guys both enjoy the good life of just anything Venus rules. Like, hey, Libra, let's go out and get some food. Let's go to this art gallery. Let's go to this concert. You know, a Taurus may do stuff like that with you, Libra. So that's what I would look for, Ada. And besides that, I would look at all kinds of other planets. I even look at asteroids like Eros. I would look at Eros. I would look at if someone's Amor asteroid. There is an asteroid named Amor, okay? I would look at if that asteroid conjuncts anything in each other's charts very closely. There's lots of stuff I would look at, girl. But just based on your Libra rising, that's what I would look at. Gary says, leave us alone. I love you, Geminis, though. I just tell the absolute, I just tell it like it is. But I really do love Geminis. Otherwise, I wouldn't be married to one, okay? And have dated many of them. You guys are so much freaking fun, man. Geminis. Love you guys. All right. Let's see. My Libra ascendant and moon husband flirts with everyone. Oh, Monique, I feel for you, girl. See, some people can handle that. If they have a person that's a flirt, they'll be like, hey, everybody wants my man or my lady, and they look good. So, and they come home to me, so I don't care. Some people can handle that, but some people, they can't really handle that. All right, let me see what else you guys got going on. Let me see what other question you guys have. I'm not going to be able to be on here for too long because I do have to go pick up my son in a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, so if I don't get to all your questions, because there are a lot, and I really appreciate that. I love it that you guys are all here being so active, asking questions. I'm going to have to do a part 2. Yeah, because this is Valentine season. Everybody wants to know about love. So anyway, let me see what else you guys have. And then I'm going to read the questions that people have sent to me to give them a fair chance too. Because I know some of them are tuning in like, where's my question? Hello. All right. So let's see. Oh, Berenice asks, how does retrograde Saturn affect the 7th house? Girl, let me take a sip. Hold on. Okay. Listen, Saturn in the 7th house. I actually have a few friends with this placement, and they worry so much about, when am I going to find love? Am I ever going to get married? How come it's hard for me to find someone? Blah, 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 right? Saturn is about hard lessons and karma, and both of those people that I know very closely that have Saturn in the 7th house, they really did have, like early on, they had serious relationships because Saturn is a planet of maturity, responsibility, seriousness, and all that. So to have that planet in your house of relationships, it means sometimes early on, those people, they have to learn some things the hard way. And it could be that maybe, both of the people I know with that placement, they were in serious relationships. They had periods of time where they were very, very like committed to a person. And then maybe, I don't know, something happened to where that relationship didn't go right. And because of that, they feel like, oh, lesson learned. I'm never going to be with, this first type of person or that type. Then they have like a long list of like who they would never be with, right? They get this long list. And because of that, they become extremely picky when it comes to partners. And then, they say that Saturn delays, right? Saturn can delay or just make you, and it's planet of maturity and old age. So I'm not saying that everybody with Saturn there is not going to get married to they're old and decrepit, okay? But maybe just later in life is when Saturn matures. And that's a whole other thing that's more complicated to explain. But once Saturn matures, and that's later in life, maybe then the Saturn in the 7th house person can actually settle down. And when they do, it could be long-term. Yeah, one of my closest friends has that. And they are very picky. They are a very picky person, and they're always like, when am I going to find someone and everything? But sometimes it could be like Shallow Hal, like that Shallow Hal movie. And like, I'm like, oh, what happened with this? Oh, yeah, they were cute and everything, but like, I don't know. He had like a pinky on one hand that was like longer than the other one. So I just said, no, not for me. Of course, I'm joking and exaggerating for entertainment purposes only. But no, but they could be very, very picky. But it just means Saturn is a planet of quality. Like you want high quality, you want the best. So also that's why sometimes someone who has Saturn in the 7th house, it can delay like marriage and really finding a person to stick with for a long time. So it can manifest in lots of different ways. Excuse me. So, oh my gosh, the moon in the sky says her boyfriend's son is on, wait, are you a girl? I'm sorry, I can't see. Their boyfriend's son is on their south node, and their boyfriend's north node is in their 7th and 8th house. Wow, those are definitely some of those soulmate bonding things. Let's see. Oh, you didn't get notified, girl? You need to click, there's a notification button, a little bell, so you'll get notified when I go live. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. I'm wondering to girl. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, what's up, Brittany? She says, I love all your live streams. Thank you. So my boyfriend is a sun in Aquarius and his moon is in Gemini. I'm an Aries sun and Libra moon. Is there anything I should be worried about? Should you be worried about anything? Okay, let's see. What is he? You said he's an Aquarius sun and a Gemini moon. And you're a Libra. Okay, so you guys are both air moons, which is good. Aries and Aquarius. You guys sextile each other on the zodiac wheel, so that's good. I mean, just based on that little bit of basic information, I would say you guys are a pretty good match energetically. You can go with the flow as a Libra, and as an Aries, you can kind of, you know, like keep the Gemini moon in him like busy and like, what is she doing next? What's she doing next? You know. What else? Anything you should be worried about? I mean, honestly, I would really have to look at his whole chart. I'd have to see if he has any crazy aspects. Does he have aspects to the outer planets like Pluto, Uranus, Neptune? You know what I'm saying? So I'd have to really look. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to get to some questions that people asked me. This is Ask Your Cosmic Homegirl. So I'm going to answer some questions that were asked of your Cosmic Homegirl. Okay, so first of all, and yes, I had people message me on different platforms on Instagram and they emailed me. So let's see. Okay, so I have a male who has a question. He wants to remain anonymous. But he's a very handsome young feller, and he is a Sagittarius rising, and he has Mars in Sagittarius in the first house. And he asks, why have I been getting a lot of aggressive female behavior towards me lately? Okay, so this is what I have to say to my Sag rising homie. Mars is transiting through the sign of Sagittarius right now as I'm filming this, right? So Mars, it can rule aggressiveness. It can rule sexuality and sex appeal. And excuse me. And also, since your Mars is in Sagittarius, you're having a Mars return. So what that means is you have this energy that you're exuding off of you. When Mars transits through your sign, that means your sun sign or your rising sign especially. More than likely the rising sign, whatever transits through your first house or over your rising sign, it's like you're wearing that energy like clothing. So pretty much you're wearing Mars, like you put a jacket on that says like, yo, what's up? Get at me, you know, in whatever way, get at me, whatever way people take that. You're wearing a jacket that says that on the back and on the front. Okay. On the front, there's like a Mars symbol right here, you know, and it's like really cool and stuff. And on the back, it's like, get at me. So for men may try to get at you in a way where they may challenge you and be like, hey, what are you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like they may think that you want to fight them. So I would be mindful of getting into conflicts at this time. Okay. But the women though, they see all of your like Marsness that you already have on you. And it's like exuding like extra. So these females, it's kind of like, they're like, I don't know. I'm trying to be appropriate so I don't get flagged on YouTube or anything. But you just got your Mars pointing out there, boy. Okay, so like the females are picking up on that, and they're just like, "Yo, what's up?" You know. So if that's what you mean by aggressive female behavior, when Mars is transiting through your first house, that's what happens. Okay, and that goes also for females. Like you're wearing that energy on you, and you can attract men during that time to where they're like, yo, what's up? And you're like, I'm not looking for any of that. Like, what gives you that idea? But it's just that time. It's just that time. So I hope that answers your question. Anonymous Sagittarius rising homeboy and stuff, if you're watching. So anyhow, that was from Instagram. Okay. And also, let's see. Halima. What's up, Halima? She says, I'm super attracted to Taurus men's, but when I date Cancer, they end up falling for me and I avoid them because of all the neediness. girl. And she is a Scorpio rising with Venus and Pluto in the first in Scorpio. Okay, so that means that she's attracted to Taurus men. Taurus is the opposite sign from Scorpio, so that explains that. All right. Oh, there goes that one dislike. That means that my hater is watching, and thank you so much for always giving me attention on every single video. I see you. I see you. Anyhow, so she said she likes to date Cancer, but they're very needy. Well, Cancer and Scorpio are fellow water signs, so that's why. Okay, but she said, oh, can I tell you guys a little bit about Venus and Pluto in Scorpio? Well, Halima, girl, I would love if you could tell us about Venus and Pluto in Scorpio. How does that work? Like, how does that feel? Like, I would imagine it's like super intense. So a woman who has Venus conjunct Pluto in Scorpio, and she has a Scorpio rising. Okay, you don't want to mess with that woman's man. All right, if she dates men, you don't want to mess with her man. You do not. A Venus and Scorpio chick, especially conjunct Pluto, you can tell that, you can see that on her that she has that energy, because her, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Because I can read people's chart. Like, when I see people, I see their chart. So I'm trying to explain it to like people who don't see my point of view. Okay, so Venus conjunct Pluto in Scorpio. If you hear any songs about "Don't Mess with My Man," that's probably who they're written by, because they're very, very intense women. They don't play any games. They once they're with somebody, they know how to possess you, like, and seduce you, and they're very bewitching type of women. And if you try to get away from them, they'll be the type that'll be like, "What? You're leaving me? Like, why?" And they'll be like, "No, no, no, you're not leaving me without a fight." You know what I'm saying? They will fight to the death to keep you there. Venus and Pluto conjunction in Scorpio is also, I don't know. I mean, all I can think of is intense, super intense. But they could be very loyal, though. Very loyal. Like, once you're in, and they've got you where they want you, and they are not looking at anybody else. Venus and Pluto and Scorpio, they have tunnel vision. Like Justin Timberlake. I love Justin Timberlake. He has a song called Tunnel Vision. I always think of Scorpio. I think of Pluto, intense. Like, I've got tunnel vision. I only see you. That's how that conjunction will work. Okay, very intense. So I would recommend that person to definitely find a partner who can handle their intensity, who can handle all that passion, because they'll be that type to express things like, "I need you, I want you, I would live for you, I would die for you." Like, that type of love is Venus and Pluto and Scorpio. So if you are very detached, you don't really care for that type of a love from somebody, and you think it's just too much, don't get with a Venus and Pluto and Scorpio. That's all I got to say about that. HFTL, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming through. Yes, I did answer your question earlier. I sure did. Okay. And then let me check my emails really quick, and then I got to bounce because I've got some fourth house stuff to do. I can't ever dwell in the 10th house for too long, y'all. You guys know me by now. Whenever I do, the fourth house comes a calling. Can you do this? Can you do that? I need you for this. I need that from you. So anyhow, let's see. Lisa. Oh, Lisa's got a long email. Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna try to answer everybody's questions. So I'm gonna answer Lisa. I'm gonna answer yours real quick. She has a lot of questions. Let me just answer one of them, and then maybe I'll email you back the rest, Lisa. Okay, so Lisa says, I've discussed the fifth house, and yes, if you follow me on Instagram and if you follow me on Facebook, both under Cosmic Homegirl, then you'll see the post that I put about the fifth house. And I'll be posting more stuff about love this week just because Valentine's Day is coming up. So yeah. So the fifth house is romance. It's like what makes your heart just go, you know, it's that feeling. It rules the heart energy to the literal heart, you know? So I discussed that a little bit. And she says, my fifth house is empty. What does that mean to have an empty love house? Okay, so even if you don't have anything in the fifth house of love, that doesn't mean you're going to be loveless. And even if you don't have anything in the seventh house of committed relationships, it doesn't mean, oh, I'll never have a relationship. What we look at then is we look at, of course, we look at the sign. We look at the sign on the fifth house, right? So for her, her fifth house is in Aquarius. So I would look for, this is technical nerdy stuff. So if you're going to like go, well, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to zone out. Don't worry. I'll get to some more basic stuff in a sec. But since her fifth house is in Aquarius, I would look, what planets rule Aquarius? Well, Uranus rules Aquarius. So where's Uranus in her chart? What sign is it in and everything? What house is it in? Okay. So in her chart, Uranus is in Scorpio. And it's in the second house. So what I would look at is, okay, well then, that's another clue as to what kind of partner that you would like. Maybe they are kind of quirky, but they still have like a stable side. You know what I mean? I would just look at that, the ruling planet, where it's at, what sign it's in, for more clues. Same for the seventh house. Her seventh house is in Aries. So there's nothing in there, but I would look for the ruler to see how she performs in love, what kind of lovers she likes and all that. And she has the ruler of her seventh house is Mars, and it's in Virgo in the 12th. So then, Lisa, I would say that that's one of those aspects to where you can possibly attract people. Oh, and her Mars is square Neptune, girl. Stay away from those men who are wishy-washy and they may be like sensitive and artists and be so beautiful when it comes to being compassionate, and they love animals and they love to escape the world with you. But then they pull those disappearing acts to where they just ghost you if there's something wrong, and they don't answer their phone and, you know, stuff like that, Lisa. Or the guys who are like the victim. They come to you, they're like, oh, I need someone to save me. Oh, you know, they're codependent. Watch out for those, Lisa. But you can attract men who do have a strong side and a sensitive side. So yes, hopefully that answers your question. I'll email you the rest, girl. All right. So who else emailed me? My phone is being like as stupid right now. Okay, who else emailed me? Let's see. While I pull up my emails, let me see. Oh, what's up, Satara? Satara is here too. Thanks for coming through. Okay. All right. So my email's up. Okay. Oh, Ben, I answered your question. I answered your question earlier. Yes. Monique says, this is my husband and I's synastry chart. Ooh, let me look at their synastry. She says, we dated off and on for 15 years before we got married. We got married during a Venus retrograde. Ooh, yeah, that is, oh, and Monique is here in the chat. Monique, I see you, girl. So, getting married during a Venus retrograde. Oh my gosh. That's something that I would advise not to do if you can absolutely help it, to not get married during a Venus retrograde, because Venus does rule relationships, partnerships, love, and all that stuff. And when it's retrograde, it's not acting as it normally would. And when the day that you get married, your marriage has a birth chart too. Your marriage has an astrology chart of its own. So the astrology chart of your marriage would have Venus retrograde. So it's not the best placement. Let's see. But she says, we've had many ups and downs, but we're the happiest we've ever been now. What do you think are our best aspects? Well, we shall see. Next time, I will do this a little bit better to where maybe I can screen share, show you guys the chart, show you what I'm looking at. This is your, hold up. This is your synastry chart. Okay, so I'm looking at their chart together. That means both of their birth charts combine to make one chart. Your relationship has its own birth chart too. So we also look at that when it comes to love. So let's see, what are their best aspects? I don't know, this kind of chart I'm not used to looking at, Monique. I don't know what the blue is and the red is. So I don't know, you'll have to send me a different chart, or maybe send me your birth information, and then maybe I can pull up a chart that I'm used to looking at, and maybe the next live broadcast I can answer some of your questions, because there's some stuff I'm like, hold up, what is that? What is who, what, where? And I'm trying to do this quickly, so that I can get to everybody's stuff. So yeah, Monique, I'll be in touch with you via email on that. Okay, and then I had some questions via Facebook. Let's see. Well, I had some feedback from somebody. So Simone commented on Facebook, and she says, I have Venus in Pisces. I used to wear rose-colored glasses and not acknowledge that what was actually happening over the fantasy in my head. Okay, so Venus in Pisces definitely is one of those signs to where you feel like you got to rescue somebody all the time. You feel like the savior or the victim. You either play one or both of those roles. You can switch the roles around off and on, or you can just be one of them. Venus in Pisces, yeah, you can kind of idealize and fantasize about people and see them only in the way that you want to. For example, a Venus in Pisces can easily like fall in love with a prisoner. Like somebody's a prisoner, they got locked up for a reason, right? They did something that was totally wrong. But a Venus in Pisces, they will find the good in that person. Oh, I see the good in them though. Like somebody who, for example, would like write to Charles Manson, you know, because they see the good in him, even though he was like a cold-blooded killer, right? That's a Venus in Pisces type of woman sometimes, or person, I should say. But she says, I cured that by not dating for 4 years. Girl, you don't always have to just be abstinent to cure the negative aspects of any type of placement that you have. Although it can be good to take some time off of dating to analyze yourself and your dating habits and your energy and your birth chart, to see what it is that like you do that's negative and how you can turn that around. So it could be good to take a break. She says, I tend to attract men with mother issues. It might have something to do with Chiron conjunct the sun in Aries 4th house. I also have a moon in Cancer in the 7th house. Girl, mommy issues, men with mommy issues. Yes, if you have the 5th house in Cancer, or if you have the 7th house in Cancer, or maybe even the 8th house in Cancer, or if you have the sun, for a woman, you have the sun, or you have Mars, the masculine planets in Cancer, or in your 4th house, you may attract men who have mommy issues. Not always, not every single time. Okay, but this is a common theme that I see come up. And this is from a follower that's saying this. So it's not just me. I'm not just bullying y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling the truth. But this is somebody who has these placements telling me this is what I attract. Cancer is a sign that rules the motherhood, nurturing, your upbringing, all that stuff. Okay, so excuse me. Sometimes if a man, especially if they have Cancer energy or energy in their 4th house, like planets in their 4th house, if their relationship with their mom is jacked up, then guess what? You know, like they really, really take that to heart, maybe more than some other signs do. And then they're going to project that onto women that they meet. I've seen and experienced men like that too, you know, because I have, if you guys saw on my Instagram and my Facebook, I posted a picture of my chart, the 5th house of my chart. I have the 5th house of romance in Pisces, but my moon is there, moon in Pisces. The moon rules Cancer, and the 5th house is attracting romantic, you know, casual dating and stuff like that, relationships. Well, guess what? I attract, when dating, 5th house, moon type men, Cancer, okay? So that's why I have numerous stories of dating Cancer men, some good, some bad. Go check out my video on dating Cancer men that's on here. But yeah, I've attracted Cancer men. So that means I've attracted the ones that have like the mommy issues, and I've attracted the ones that like they come from a good family. They have a good relationship with their mom, and they really respect women. So it could go either way. But either way, Cancer rules the mother, relationship to mother, rules the moon rules Cancer, so it rules the same thing. So look for those placements in your relationship houses and see if you attract certain people that kind of play that role, you know, have things play out that way. All right. Let's see. I'll take a couple more questions and I got to peace out. And maybe I'll do another one of these. Maybe I'll do another one. Dia says, it's true. I have the 5th house in Cancer, and it's true. Yes. And one of my best friends, her 5th house is Cancer also. She has to vent to me all the time about her experiences with Cancer men. She attracts them like bees to honey. And there's things that she loves about them, but then she always, there's something else. I think she has like Chiron in there or something. I don't remember what it was, but she does tend to attract, unfortunately, more of the ones that have issues and they're with attachment and stuff like that. But it doesn't always mean that. If you attract Cancers, it's not always a bad thing. It's like, you know, sometimes you attract the ones that are very nurturing and caring and they know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Good stuff there. All right. So let's see. Grace says, my Venus is in Virgo. It trines my Capricorn ascendant. Dope. I've previously had a serial thing for guys with Virgo sun. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's an interesting thing. So her Venus in Virgo trying to her Capricorn ascendant. Yeah, so that's good. You attract guys with Virgo sun. So sometimes, yeah, if you have Venus in the sign, you can attract people who have the same sun sign as your Venus, because Venus is what you enjoy. You can really enjoy that energy. Very, very much so. So more too says, when did you get into astrology? When did you start studying it? Excuse me. Well, I plan on doing a more detailed video about this stuff, but just to answer your question briefly, I've been into astrology for over 20 years. So when I was really young, I started reading my horoscope, and there used to be this phone number you can call into to listen to your horoscope. And this is way back in the day. So I would call and I would listen for me and for my friends. And I just knew that there was something to it, you know, I knew there was something to it. And then I started being able to recognize like the characteristics and the qualities of the sun signs, like very quickly after I started like learning them. And then I would observe friends and people around me. And then I started being able to recognize common things that they all do, you know, like, for example, I knew that like my Pisces friends, they don't like for me to be blunt and tell them the truth about stuff. They're very sensitive about that. And I noticed that like my Cancer friends, they'll always say the same phrase all the time. Why wasn't I invited? How come you didn't invite me? Why didn't you bring me back something? Why didn't you think about me? They all said the same thing. And I'm like, so I started being able to point things out, you know. And then eventually I started reading birth charts. I think that was now like, I want to say like almost 10 years ago. I actually started reading natal charts, like the full birth chart, what all the planets mean and all that stuff. And then just went from there. And I'll tell the rest of the story, a longer version later, because I'm almost going on 2 hours here. Okay, so let me see. I think I had at least another question on Instagram. So I'm going to say maybe in the comments who that is. Oh, Justin Timberlake. Oh, what up, Justin Timberlake? Okay. I know somebody asked a question on Instagram. Let me see. So, who was it? Oh, I thought somebody asked me a question. Hold on. Oh, I think they did on a different post. Okay. So question from Instagrams. I guess not. Hold on. Oh, maybe it was Facebook. See, that's why I said for you guys to email me so it's all in one spot. Hello. Okay. That's why I said to email me, you guys. Okay. I think it was on Facebook. I'm going to answer one last question from Facebook. Plus, you guys, once again, add my Facebook page under Cosmic Homegirl. If you follow me under Pisces Moon Goddess, I'm going to stop posting there eventually and updating that page. And I'm only going to be on the Cosmic Homegirl one. So I think somebody asked me a question on my Cosmic Homegirl page. Was it that? Sorry, you guys, for the dead air. I know some people who have short attention spans are going to be like, who, what? You're not talking. Okay, bye. Blah, blah, blah. All right. I thought somebody asked me a question. Okay, hold on. Oh, oh, Gypsy Sparkle. Okay. Okay. So I did answer your question. Well, you said that you have Venus in Leo, but Mars in Virgo. Would I elaborate more on that? Okay, so listen. So if you are a feminine person or a woman, and we would look at your Venus sign for how you express yourself in love, and also it does count for like how you like to be loved as well as Venus, you know. And then Mars for a feminine person who dates masculine, or a woman who dates men, would be the type of men that you attract, or masculine energy that you attract and that you're attracted to. So if you have like, that's why you got to look at both, because your expression of your love as a Venus and Leo person, for example, would be you are more showy with love. You will do those things like make posts on social media. This is me and my bae. This is me and my boo. Look at me and my partner, my man, my woman, whatever. Look at how beautiful they are, how handsome they are. Look at us together, holding hands. You would be more about that PDA and all that type of stuff, and be so showy about it and not afraid to express all that stuff. And also, you love for your partner to compliment you. You love to make a big deal about going out somewhere on a date, making sure you're on point, okay? Like you have your nails done, you have your hair, like you have everything just on point, and you make a big effort. You want your partner to recognize that. You want them to compliment you, okay? So that is a Venus and Leo. But then she's got Mars and Virgo. That means that she's attracting men to her who are more Virgo. Virgo is not about that life when it comes to like being so showy about love. Plus, Venus and Leo may love to get glammed, okay? Wear makeup and all that stuff, and have the big hair and everything. And oh, if you go out on a date, they're like, yeah, let's go out. You're gonna wear a sparkly dress, you know what I'm saying? Be all flashy. But then you go out with this person you attracted because you have a Mars and Virgo, and they're like, why did you wear all that makeup? Why are you dressed like that? Instead of complimenting you, they may kind of just like in your opinion, tear you down. And you'll be like, yo, wait a second now. Like, I made this effort for you, okay? Like, I want to look good for me, but also for you. So what's up with that? So sometimes when you have Venus and Mars in different signs that are totally different from one another, it means that you can attract people to you that act a different way than how you like to be loved, And yeah, so that's what that means. And so you really have to look at that and be able to get to know each other's love languages too. I haven't read that book yet, but there's a book called something about like the 5 love languages or something like that. That would be a good thing to look at. But also, of course, get a reading in astrology or look up some stuff online about your Venus, your Mars, their Venus, their Mars, your each other's Mercuries, how you guys communicate with each other. Look at your moon to see how you guys act at home when you're comfortable, and how you guys emotionally understand each other. Okay, I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to have to sign off. Let's see, Satara, is Cosmic Homegirl page is up on, yes, it's up on Facebook. Go follow my Cosmic Homegirl Facebook page. Why is it I used to date the same guys over and over, like recycled? Monique, that's a good question. It does have to do with your chart and who you attract, and then you have to look at the positive qualities of those signs in the houses or those planets. You got to look at the positive qualities. I lost where your chart is because I have like so much going on. But let's see, Monique, were you the one that has Aquarius in your 5th house? If you are, then that means that you probably attract like those types of men. But you just have to go and look at the good qualities. Like, okay, well, I attract Aquarian men. They can be kind of detached, not all like showy and not all like huggy and lovey-dovey. But what do I appreciate about Aquarian energy? Maybe I can look for men who have that instead. Like, I like men who are different than I am. I like men who are not afraid to show that they are like, they have like little quirky, weird things about them, you know? So maybe like gravitate more towards that than the ones that are like, if I see some cold, detached, like monotone, clear eyes, dry eyes, they don't get excited about you type of stuff, then you should be like, nah, you know what? So you know the red flags, and then you know the green flags, like green light, you know? So just look for the positives of the energies that you attract. Let me see. Oh, Deja, did you get did I get your email? Hold up. Was it to cosmichomegirl@gmail.com? Oh, yeah, yes, it was. Hello. Okay. Deja says, hold up. Deja says, what sign is my love match according to my chart? Okay, so not just one sign. And I would have to do a full-on reading to get more of like a calculation of a combination of things to show like what type of personality ideal partnership would have. But of course, you know, look at the sign on your 5th house, and look at your Mars, and look at the sun if you date men, my bad. To see what kind of masculine energies you like. Like, for example, you have Mars and Capricorn in the 8th house. So Mars and Capricorn in the 8th house, that could be a man who has his own business established, for example. Like, or they're going somewhere in life. They're not just all talk, you know, they have goals and they go after those goals. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. They have financial goals. Like, they actually save money. They actually, they don't just throw it in the air. You know what I mean? Because the 8th house does deal with money too and joint finances. So they don't mind sharing their wealth with you to have Mars there. And then you have the sun in Cancer in the 2nd house. Well, the 2nd house also deals with money too and possessions. And the sun is like a masculine planet, so it could show the type of men that you may attract or be attracted to. So maybe a man who's like a family man and stuff, and he is really all about protecting his family, especially protecting the resources of the family. So if I were you, I would just, based off of that very brief look, I would get with somebody who, I'm not saying to be a gold digger or like you got to find a rich man or anything like that, but definitely look for somebody stable who is about financial stability, because if they're not, you're not going to be satisfied. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, with not being satisfied with someone who's not financially stable. You will not do well with a man who is always in between jobs. He flip-flops back and forth. He doesn't know what he wants to do. Like, you wouldn't do well with that. You have to have somebody who at least has some kind of job and they have a plan. Okay. So yeah. More too says, oh my God, I accidentally oh, that was you? Okay, good. Well, my little hater that likes to follow me around on social media and put that one stinking little dislike and likes to do things like that, a little evil troll creeping around, they'll probably do it later. So I'm not worried, not bothered, honey. Speaking of not bothered, I need to get off here and go watch the latest video by my homie Rich Lux. I love his videos. He's so funny. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to this first Ask Your Cosmic Homegirl. This is a long one. I may make them shorter in the future. This is a Valentine's Day edition, all about the love. Oh my gosh, and my face is so freaking shiny. I really need a bounce. Ooh, hell to the no. Anyway, so thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, if you would like for me to look at your charts as far as love and tell you what's going on there, book a love and romance reading. They're 40% off through the whole month of February. If you would like for me to look at your relationship between the two people, also book a reading with me. IndigoMoonAstrology.com. It's still my website, so go check it out there. All right, you guys. Oh, yes, Monique, you're right, girl. I got to go drink some tea. And I will see you guys in my next video. All right, peace out. Oh, wait, don't forget to follow me. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, all under Cosmic Homegirl. The info is below. Instagram is Cosmic_Homegirl because my little troll hater, they created Cosmic Homegirl before I could get to it for no reason at all. So cosmic_homegirl on Instagram. All right, guys. So now I will peace out and have a great evening.